Down by 2, now they're out of timeouts.
Down by 2, 1.3 left. Down 2, gets a shot off.
Down by 2.
Yo ho ho, how you been? It's another episode 2 of 3 on this homestand with the Orlando Magic of the Down by 2 podcast. I'm your host, Josh Elijah. To my left,
Jesse McKay.
Hey baby, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just watched a pretty crazy blowout game.
An ass whooping,
Yeah.
a complete turnaround from what we saw Friday night here in Kia Center as the Orlando Magic won 118-88, I believe the score was.
Well,
Yeah.
let me look
There
it up
it
here.
is.
118-88.
What is that,
right on the
30-point
score
win?
sheet.
That was honestly a huge comeback for the Orlando Magic when it comes to losing a really close, grueling game to the Clippers on Friday and rebounding against a team that they really needed to take care of with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. Bit of a heartbreaker last night, but you come in today and you gotta show them who's boss, man. You gotta take care of business.
No, absolutely, and that's absolutely what they did. I mean, it seemed like anything that we thought that was going to happen with the game, with some of our predictions, the complete opposite happened. Except for the under, of course, the under.
Hey, that one panned out today.
Barely by a point. So we were lucky with that, and the Scottie Pippen Jr. under points, rebounds, and assists as well also hit. But again, it could have gone either way, whether or not the Magic were going to completely blow the wheels off of them, or if it was going to be a closely contested game. But you can't blame Memphis. I mean, it really.
What are they supposed to do?
It really looked like Orlando was facing their G League affiliate team, probably because they were, because a lot of these players were called up from the Memphis Hustle. So I mean, it's a whole lot of new looks for a Magic squad that have not seen a lot of these players before. But they showed that they've grown a lot this year and have been able to step up to the challenge and snap that 3-game losing streak that they've actually faced at home and had to endure at home.
Yeah. Man, really unfortunate what the Grizzlies have had to go through this year.
Yeah.
Like, you don't wish that on any franchise, really. You want to see a full squad.
Jaw out, Bane out, Derrick Rose out. Like, it's just
the injuries are just piling
Marcus Smart.
up, man.
It feels a lot like the Toronto Raptors as well. That really just don't have a place to go when it comes to what a game plan is, because you really don't know what kind of lineups you're throwing out.
Kind of changes day to day almost. Like, you don't know who you're throwing out there.
We really didn't know what we were going to expect going into today, because when we had a chance to talk to Coach Jamahl Mosley before the game, Magic head coach, obviously, he definitely seemed a little tired, a little worn out, just with I guess a little stressed, especially. I mean, because this is a decent Magic squad, and they've lost some real close games at home as well, to some formidable matchups as well. I mean, they lost to Sacramento and they lost to Golden State, and then that close one to the Clippers as well. So going into today, he seemed I guess just a little neutral when it came to his sort of attitude in the pregame presser, but then postgame, it was everything that he preached throughout the entire season that really came into fruition, and really just sort of showed us what kind of team they are. Yeah,
they're really resilient, I feel like, and one guy could have a game high, and then the next night another guy on the squad has a game high, and it really speaks to the depth and like he was saying, the support they have for one another. It really seems like it's almost like a therapy or something. Like they're one big support group for one another, right? And they all have each other's backs, and it's really cool to see.
It says a lot to be able to give players like Markelle Fultz a rest on the Friday night, but then the Saturday night they give Jonathan Isaac a rest as well, just for injury maintenance as well. So it really is that sort of next man up mentality. And tonight it was players like Joe Ingles who really led the team, just overall his veteran leadership as well. We had a chance to speak with him after the game, and Wendell Carter Jr. obviously posting up great numbers and really finding his range from beyond the arc as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was tied for a game high with a couple other guys, so he really showed his leadership as well.
and it definitely wanted to make sure that they put this W in the win column as well, as they're going to be facing another basement dweller of the Western Conference in the Portland Trailblazers coming up on Monday as well. If you're kind of putting yourself in the shoes of Coach Mosley, what is the message to your team? Going up against a team that they think it might be an easy W, but who knows? Portland could give them some fits.
I mean, whatever he told these guys going into tonight, I think you just keep that same mentality, right? Because, even though Memphis is banged up, you still don't want to take any team lightly, right? And Portland's got some sneaky good players too, right? So I wouldn't just let these guys waltz in here and have your way with them, right?
We were talking about that too. I mean, DeAndre Ayton's on that squad, and you got Malcolm Brogdon. He's still there, right?
I think so. Somebody can fact check us on that.
Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson, even though it's been an up and down year for him, he can still stuff the stat sheet as well. Yep. So, I mean, there really aren't, any team on any given day can really turn around and surprise you. And, that's what we saw with the Magic, is they definitely surprised us today, because we did not see that type of win coming from today. We thought it was definitely going to be a little bit more of a grinded out game, but get it done at the end of the day. But they definitely won by way more than 13 points, which is what they were favored at.
Yeah, huge blowout. It was pretty much over after the first quarter, I would say.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to cut over to our interviews that we have with head coach Jamahl Mosley of the Orlando Magic. We also had a chance to chat with the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies as well, Taylor Jenkins, before the game. And what are your thoughts on Coach Jenkins? I mean, what a well-spoken and a smart coach. A lot of insight coming from Coach Jenkins.
Yeah, like a real wordsmith, if you will. Just has a lot to say about all his players. Like, no matter who you asked about, he's got a novel that he's he loves his squad, man. It's really, really cool to see, and what a wealth of knowledge. Great basketball mind.
He understands the game and understands his players even more as well. And I would definitely rank him as one of the top coaches in this league, and just basketball IQ all around. I mean, it didn't really show tonight with the Grizzlies,
well,
but
what are you supposed to do?
Look at what you're. Yeah, I get it. But it was great to actually sit down and chat with him face to face, and him giving us the time as well to ask some questions. And same with Coach Mosley as well. And Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles was also.
What a personality!
What a card!
He had that in him.
Doesn't do a whole lot of press interviews, and we got him. So let's kick it over to some of the interviews that we have, starting off with Coach Mosley.
Coach, when you go through a few tough losses in a row, how much does it help that your approach all season has been, the same approach, win or lose? How much does that help prevent, perhaps some frustration from setting in?
Well, just consistency, trying to hold ourselves to our standard, and I think the more you're able to do that, you know exactly what's coming. You can find the little small pieces that you need to hone in on to continue to improve and get better.
No Gary, no J.I., but you get Markel back. How will you start tonight?
We'll start with Caleb Houston, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., and Jalen Suggs.
I was going to say, you need a fifth player.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Last night we spoke with Powell after the game. He said he's not liking how he's playing right now. He admitted he needs to play better. For a player his age to take that responsibility on himself, obviously it's a team game and whatnot, but what does that say about who he is as a player at this point in his career?
I mean, he has such a high level of maturity about himself, also a confidence about knowing what he's capable of doing and capable of playing. He also has a level of responsibility that he puts on himself more than probably anyone else does. He knows what he's capable of doing, and when he doesn't feel like he's doing it, he's going to do the things that are necessary to get himself back on track.
I understand there's no Jonathan Isaac out there tonight, but as we kind of look forward to the postseason, getting down to the stretch of the season, is the goal to get him slowly ramped up in terms of his minutes to get ready for the postseason?
Yes.
Anything else? Jeremy?
Coach, what's the biggest point of emphasis in these last 9 games that you'd like to improve upon to get to the playoffs?
Possession battles, understanding the importance of the possessions, whether that be taking care of the basketball, shot quality, getting timely stops when needed, all the little things of our standard of play that we've aired out a ton. Being able to take care of the basketball, being able to move and share the basketball, stepping into your shot with confidence, and then the other side is just making sure we're hitting the glass on both ends of the floor.
Coach, last time you played Memphis, obviously it feels like very similar to this time where they have a lot of players out. You come in heavy favorites. How do you kind of take tonight knowing you're on this 3-game skid and kind of just handle business regardless of who's playing on the other side of the court?
Focus on our standard. This is what I said before. It's just like being able to focus on what we're able to do and how we're approaching the game. We also played them with a similar scenario. Guys were out and they won. And so you can't take it for granted. You got to respect whoever steps on that floor because they're capable of going. We talked about this the other day, was whether it's above 500 or sub 500, everyone's playing for something.
I know that the results haven't gone the way that you guys wanted, but what are you seeing from the defense right now to kind of keep you guys in games and give yourselves the chance to win the last 3 games?
Well, the defense is keeping us in games. You hold that team the other night to 100 points, which is as a high-powered offense. You go against Sacramento, high-powered offense, Golden State, high-powered offense, and your defense is holding it down. And our ability to make sure we get timely stops is also another key. But then offensively, just continue to share it. The process over the results a lot of times is what we continue to look at. And I know it's tough to say at this time of the year, but for a young team that's continuing to grow and learn how to get through these moments and these big games, it's going to pay dividends down the road for sure.
Thank you, Coach Mosley.
Thank you, guys.
Coach, against the Lakers, the offensive numbers are really good, defensive maybe not so much. What did you take away from the Laker game that you worked on in practice yesterday?
Yeah, it was a kind of tale of 2 halves. I mean, the first half was definitely, the Lakers living in the paint. We knew that was a big priority in the game. Transition defense, we weren't showing great crowds. Our rotations were poor in a lot of different situations, one-on-one, drives, post-ups, even some off-ball situations. They got to the foul line a lot because we were, not in our spots. They were getting downhill on us. Third quarter rolls around and they start knocking down threes, and it was a communication issue, just next play mentality. We weren't getting matched up, weren't knowing where guys were on the floor. It was poor effort on our part. So glad to see that our offense was clicking, against a very physical team, but we didn't bring on the defensive end. We got to definitely do that tonight.
Orlando's somewhat similar to the Lakers. A lot of paint touches, a lot of driving downhill, a lot of scoring in the painted area. What's going to be important tonight?
We just got to build on, what we talked about yesterday in practice. Definitely, went back to work, had a good film session, good work on the court, emphasizing our fundamentals, what we got to do to protect the paint. We know that's a priority of ours, obviously, with the Magic tonight. I think they're like #1 in the last 5 games. We got a lot of different guys that can drive downhill. They do a good job sharing the ball, getting to the second side, multiple handlers, different pick and roll combinations, obviously with Fultz getting downhill, Ben Carroll getting downhill, Wagner getting downhill, but they also shoot the 3 ball wells. So we've got to be able to strike that right balance, but knowing that the paint's the priority.
Even with the revolving door this year, you've done such a great job of keeping this team on the same page, keeping them energized. What's been the secret to that?
Just work. I mean, obviously, we just try to, I don't want to say we're trying to keep it simple. We just focus on our fundamentals and our standard every single day. Obviously, we wish we could go a little bit deeper into our playbook or even sometimes with our defensive, systems. But biggest thing is our teammates are doing a great job. When new teammates come in, our coaches, stepping up and just continuing to get the new guys up to speed as quick as possible. The #1 thing is guys going out there and competing as hard as they can every single night. So obviously we want to get the results better for sure, but the fact that our guys are going out there competing and trying to do it the right way, the Grizzlies way, that's the encouraging thing right now.
Thanks so much for the time and good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot for you.
Perfect. Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Fish.
Coach, the other night with Brandon's return, 21 minutes, was that around about what you guys were hoping for, and how did he respond the next couple of days?
Yeah, a little sore the first day after, but was great. What was it, yesterday, Friday, had a great practice. Obviously, we're being still smart with his workload, days in between games, as we kind of finish out the rest of this regular season. That kind of low 20s mark was what we were thinking. A couple different stretches, not stretching to 2 long stretches, but multiple stretches throughout the game. He played with great energy. Felt good yesterday in practice. I would expect him to continue to have that same great energy today.
GJ's obviously emerged as a rotation player for the last few months. What are some of the things that you're looking to see from him over the remainder of this year, and then maybe work on it this summer as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. He and I have been talking about, his body, what his body's getting exposed to right now, the amount of minutes that he's playing, and having durability and endurance. endurance. So that's something that he's definitely going to have to focus on in the offseason. You know, the defensive side, we're putting him on a lot of different guys. We're putting him on, you know, the most shiftiest, you know, guards and shooting, you know, guards, but then also some of the bigger bigs and wings out there. Just trying to see what he's capable of. You know, see can he lock in on a game plan. You know, one night's going to be completely different than the next night. He's going to guard probably a variety of different Magic players tonight, so that we just have all the teaching opportunities for him. You know, game after game after game, he's really been doing a good job responding. He's, you know, as I've openly told him, is, hey, you're going to have your great moments, you're going to have your mistakes, and the fact that you're just trying to willing to learn and get better is going to pay dividends in the next game and moving forward. And then offensively, you know, trying to just continue to see him play within our system. You know, find those right times to put the ball in his hands to be a more primary playmaker, but seeing him playing off the ball, you know, reads, spacing, you know, knocking down the three, he came out of the gate shooting the ball really well. You know, he's not hesitating from there, but you know how we're trying to get him into some more pick and rolls, drive, you know, go and catch situations and making reads against, you know, 2-3 defenders and getting the ball out to his teammates. So a lot of different things. I mean, I could keep talking probably for an hour, but we're just trying to steadily just show him game to game where those opportunities to grow are.
Coach, talk to us a little bit about the intangibles that Jaren Jackson Jr. brings to this team on and off the court.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably talk about him for an hour or two about the intangibles. Obviously, you know, his skill set on the court, you know, what he can do on both sides of the floor. He's taken huge steps. He's one of the hardest workers I've been around. You know, my first season here, he was in the gym every single day pretty much throughout that summer, you know, working on his body. He's continually had to, you know, find that durability season after season. It's been great that he's putting, you know, pretty much 2 full seasons together here. He's getting rewarded for it, you know, with great productivity on both sides of the floor. But he cares about winning. You know, that's probably the biggest intangible. How he approaches his craft every single day. It's not just the skill development. It's the, you know, leadership opportunities. I call him like one of our spirit leaders of the team. You know, obviously we're having a tough go this year, but the way he approaches every single day, it's uplifting. You know, not just for his teammates, but also for the staff as well. And you just kind of, you know, just feed off of his energy every single day. He's got an unbelievable soul. What he stands for off the court. You know, the balance of life and basketball. I think he's, you know, one of the few guys in the league that, you know, can openly talk about that. Has mad respect, you know, from his teammates and so many others in the league, because he carries himself the right way. So I could keep talking. He's an unbelievable basketball player, you know, person. On top of that, he's a joy to work with every single day.
Coach, 2 months since you've seen this Magic team last, what areas of improvement on their end have you seen over the last 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, they got such great depth. I'm trying to think back to the first matchup. I mean, you know, they got different guys stepping up at different times. I mean, obviously, Paolo being an all-star, you know, seeing him get that recognition, you know, just in his second season, just how he's grown so much as a primary guy, but playing on the perimeter, you know, confidence in his shot. You know, I think the balance of the paint scoring from this team, but, you know, multiple guys that, you know, they can have stretches of games where they can really shoot above the 40% mark. You know, they're doing a great job moving the ball, different pick and roll combinations, just continuing to explore. I know coming into the season they were exploring, you know, what they had, the guard position, the big position, Paolo's growth, you know, guys off the bench, Cole, you know, kind of playing more, you know, off the bench now this season. So I think they've just found chemistry and found a group. Obviously they're, you know, competing for, you know, home court advantage and, you know, playoff seeding this time of year, and they're just bringing out great fight every single day. And, you know, they're embracing the defensive side of the floor. You know, I think Maul's done a great job getting these guys to really buy into the principles of taking away the paint, you know, getting out to the three-point line, you know, the activity that they play with their size and versatility. I've just seen a lot of that growth, just even in a couple of seasons, let alone just the last 2 months.
What's the, you know, this Magic team is getting ready to take that step into the playoffs. You take in a young team in the playoffs before. What's the biggest challenge for a team and a young star like you had in Ja playing their first playoff series? Yeah,
I mean, getting that first taste of the playoffs is a one-time thing. You only get your first time, and you know you're trying to prepare all season long, but it's a different ball game come playoff time, and it's, you know, the attention to detail, the appreciation for all the small things that matter. You know, and obviously we've had some, you know, decent seasons the last 2 years, but you know we haven't gone to where we want to go. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we were not on the, you know, the podium getting the trophy. You know, that's what every team strives for. So even 2 years ago when we got knocked out in the second round, you know, there was still stuff left on the table. So it's kind of figuring out, you individually, you collectively, that's coaching staff, medical staff, all of us, what can we do more come playoff time? But it's also a year-round process. You know, what are you going to gain from this season, this run, lead into next summer, you know, and then how that propels you into the next season, coming in with the right mentality, the appreciation for how hard it takes. And a lot of times it's just the little things that matter the most.
Coach, Orlando's obviously, you know, playing a lot right now for playoff seeding, home court advantage. At this point of the season for you guys, how beneficial is tonight? What can you guys take out of a game like this, playing a team like the Magic?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we don't focus on our opponent's situations and all that as much. We've still got our stuff that we're going through, trying to build momentum for the offseason, building chemistry with these guys, evaluating certain guys. It's pretty much been that case for the majority of our season. But obviously, going up against teams that are fighting, you're getting the best brand of basketball, and I think the league's done an unbelievable job with, playing tournaments and more teams, that have an opportunity to get a bite at the playoff apple. You just get competitive basketball for 82 games, and even though we're in our situation, already been eliminated from the playoffs, we still strive to be the most competitive team that we can be, no matter who's out there on the floor. Knowing where the Magic at, it's going to be a great test for us, and whoever we play the rest of the season, everyone's trying to find their best brand of basketball this time of year, so you got to be prepared for it.
Great, thank you, Coach.
Great, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
Joe, after a few close losses, teams can respond in different ways. For your group to come out tonight and respond the way which you did, just how proud of you of the group?
Yeah, I think I said to Dante at halftime, I think the last couple games, I think we had played pretty solid in those other games, and obviously couldn't kind of finish them off down the stretch or stretches throughout the game. So we were still playing well, but obviously now to kind of put it all together, and obviously with the injuries that group's got, and it kind of makes it a little bit harder too. They always play hard, they play the right way, but we're able to make a lot of shots and get the stops when we needed tonight.
You said you were playing good basketball the last few games, just couldn't finish near the end. To have a performance like this when you maintain control throughout the night, just what can that do for the team in this final stretch of the regular season?
Yeah, I think we just as this year goes on, just finishing off playing our best basketball as we kind of finish out this last 8 or 9 games, whatever it is now. And I do think we've played some really good basketball. Obviously, last night we get hit with a Kawhi ISO and a Paul George ISO at the end of a game, which they've probably done a million times, and we're getting used to those situations, what we want to do, the spacing and all of that. So, we've got 7-8 games to figure it out, and I'm, like I said, confident in that group that we'll figure it out, and we'll keep getting better for this last 8, and whatever happens after that.
You mentioned that you felt like the team was playing pretty good even during the losing streak. Defense especially was really dialed in. What does it say about where do you feel like this team's defense is at, and especially coming in with a performance like this to bury a team like Memphis?
I think all year we're top whatever for a reason. I think pretty consistently throughout the year that's what we've kind of hung our hat on is the defensive end, and what has it been, 97, 90 something, there's been a lot of low scoring games, and it is a credit to our defense, and obviously the other end we've got to figure out what we're doing sometimes. Sometimes it's purely we just don't make some shots, sometimes it's the turnovers, but going forward here we know that defensively is where it's at for us, and if we do that and hold strong on that end, we'll be good to finish out this year.
Joe, recently Mo's talked about AB and his maturity on and off the court and his growth. What have you seen from AB since his time coming into the league to now with him, just on and off the court?
Yeah, he's in it's probably a tough spot. You play some nights you don't. Obviously, the best thing is the daily work he puts on in behind the scenes. He's there every day. Working on whatever his coaches are getting him to work on, and then he does show that when he's in the game, he's getting better and better. So obviously, I understand it is kind of tough sometimes, but when you're a rookie, you come to a pretty good team, and he's been great. His attitude towards it, like I said, the daily work he puts in. There's a reason he was the sixth pick. I knew he was high, whatever pick he was, but it's a credit to him.
Joe, you're one of the veterans of the team with player experience.
Thanks for that.
As a veteran, what do you see the areas that your team need to improve in order to have a good run in the playoffs?
We got to figure that out first. Sorry, Coach, I stole your time. I told him it was either before you or I'm not doing it. So
you can ask the same questions.
Do you want me to do yours?
Yeah.
I think the guys played with joy, and obviously it is, the reality is it's a pretty tight race at the moment, and we've just got to handle our own business and obviously get there first. I think for this last 8 or whatever games, defensively, just keeping on what we're doing, tightening things up, knowing our rotations, knowing all the little things, and then offensively, just knowing where we're going at the end of games. Last few games have been close. We just got to know what we're doing that last 2-3 minutes of a quarter or the fourth quarter. And like I said about last night, they knew what they were doing. I think we had 2 turnovers, they had 2 buckets. That's a veteran team that's kind of been there. So like I said, I've got the absolute confidence we'll get there and we'll be fine. But obviously over this next couple of weeks leading into that, we'll knuckle in and get that sorted, and hope it goes really well.
Thank you, Joe.
Anytime.
Coach, after a couple close losses, teams can respond in different ways. For your group to respond in the way which it did tonight, just how proud are you of their effort?
Extremely proud. I think they, like Joe said, we played with a sense of joy, but we also, played the right way. I think the ball was moving. We defended and knowing what we're capable of doing, and we did that. We didn't try to do too much. We did exactly what the game plan said to do, and I think they did a great job of executing it.
Joe said that you guys have been playing good basketball the last few games, just couldn't find a way to finish, but to maintain control from the start to finish in a game like this and sort of reset, what you're doing on the court, how can you take this in the final 8 or 9 games and, learn from this?
Well, it's interesting, like Mo said it the other day in his interview. He talked about the standard and the way in which we played. Just because it doesn't come out on the winning end of it doesn't mean you're not playing good basketball. So you stick with that process. And that's what these guys did tonight. And obviously we come out with the win, but the best part is that we played the right way, and which we had been playing the right way in these other games as well. It's just you don't come away with the win, but you continue to learn in these close games that we had been playing. And that's a great lesson for a group that's continuing to grow, continuing how to learn how to win in this league.
How much does it say that this team was able to kind of stay that course? We kind of we're in a results-driven business. It's wins and losses matter, but to see that hey, we're doing a lot of things right. Now we just have to keep doing it and then do maybe that little extra more than maybe we weren't. What does it say about this team that they were able to do that against a team that you easily overlook like Memphis?
It's growth of this group. I say it over and over again. Their ability to know and focus on the process over the results a lot of times, because there's been games where we don't shoot the basketball well, but we're getting all the right looks with the right rhythm and the flow of the offense. Our defense has sustained us. But again, it's being able to hold the process and not worry about the results. But if you're doing the right things, you're playing the right way, it will bounce your way at some point, but you got to stay the course. And this group has continued to do that no matter what's going on.
Markel's obviously been through a lot this season. He entered 111 from 3. For him to hit 2 triples tonight, just what can that do for his confidence as a shooter and moving forward?
I think Markel continues to work. I think that's what's been consistent about what he's done. Injury, no injury, maintenance and management. He's constantly just continued to work.
Coach, strong game from Wendell Carter. Talk to us about what you saw was working for him and what you want to see more of from Wendell.
I just thought he played with a focus and a determination, ability to just go out there and just let the game come to him. But he was just focusing more on the defensive end, which let everything else flow. His teammates were finding him and just continuing to make the right play. Again, you just see the way he was with his intensity, his focus, his intention. I think that just continuing that for us is going to be huge.
Coach, I remember talking to you in the preseason and you had great expectations for this team. How do you compare what you thought back then of what has happened in this year season?
I think we're still growing. I think we know what we're capable of doing. It's going to come down to just a one game at a time mentality. But just the way in which the group continues to grow. If you told me where we are right now, you'd say you're not necessarily surprised because of what this group has said, what they believe in and what they want to do. But like we said before, it's not done. We've got continued work to do, and we've got more games to come.
Coach, this is the 43rd win tonight. It's the most wins for the team in 13 years for any season. What does it mean to be the best Magic team in this generation of Magic fans, and how much is that fueling you guys in these last couple of games in the playoffs?
I really just think it's so exciting for this organization, for this fan base who has obviously 13 years waited a long time to have a group of young men that represent the game the right way. They play for each other, they play for one another, and the continuity in which they show. I just continue to think that it's it's a joy to watch these guys play and continue to support one another. But it says a lot about the camaraderie and the chemistry, not just, you know, on the court, but off the court as well. And you have to give so much, you know, back to the fans that continue to support, you know, in the good and the bad, no matter what's happening. And this group has embraced that, you know, wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Coach Mosley.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach. And that about does it. We're going to wrap it up here before we have to head back again to cover the Portland Trailblazers here on Monday against the Orlando Magic. We're definitely going to wrap it up. There's some Pee Wee tournament that's going on behind us as well.
Pretty sick.
And so we're just going to turn around and watch the rest of that game probably. But before we do, we have a little bit of an announcement. We always like to partner with brands that align with what we do and what we talk about and all the sports coverage that we do. So we only thought that it would be fitting to partner up with Dead Threads, and we're sporting a couple of the tarps that they got
Rocking
from here.
the tarps right now.
This one obviously being Orlando Magic. Yeah. Showcase it, baby.
There it is.
This, honestly, go check them out online. Dead Threads. They have these original prints that cover basketball, hockey, football, college sports as well. They got original designs for all of their for the majority of the different leagues.
Yeah, pretty cool. Like vintage look too.
Yeah, you're the clothing expert. So talk to us about the makeup of all this.
On Comfort Colors. Comfort Colors is a great blank brand. I like them a lot. Nice and thick, but very soft. Definitely good for the summertime. Nice and breathable. But the design also has some. Looks like some aged effect on it, which is cool.
Yes.
Makes it look a little vintage, you know? So,
absolutely. No, good quality. Good quality. Great print on it as well. And
the print's really large too, which is
and talk to us about the price point because they are pretty affordable.
How much are they? I'm not actually sure.
I believe they're like you're
$40.
Yeah, in and around that range. So very affordable, and even more affordable when you use our promo code down by 2 on your next order online, and get yourself a nice juicy little discount there for you by dropping our name. So make sure you head to Dead Threads online and on your next order use promo code down by 2. But that about does it. Let's we're gonna go head out here. We're gonna go hit the town, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we got some editing to do as well, but you know,
we're gonna chop this up.
Do it somewhere cool.
Maybe over a nice stogie, maybe over a cigar.
Yeah,
if you are ever in Orlando, you got to go check out this spot. But it is
it's the Corona cigar bar.
Man, this place,
what a vibe!
Make a mean old fashioned and got rows and rows of cigars. And make sure you go talk to one of their friendly staff. They're very knowledgeable and just an all around great experience. So let's go do that and smoke our brains out and go edit some YouTubes here. But make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and we'll see you on Monday as the Blazers are in town. But for Josh, Elijah, and Jesse McKay, peace out, guys.